the main reasons why I've involved myself in church planting, because there's a need. About 70% of Americans are disconnected. They're not connected with church. We have a growing population that have never grown up going to church.
70% of Americans wake up on a Sunday morning and church, which means everything to us, isn't even on their radar.
We're really desiring to contextualize and understand, who are these people and how do we best connect the gospel to where they are.
In 1900, 70% of Americans went to church. So over the last 100 years, we went from 70% of the people going to church to 70% of the people saying they have no meaningful relationship with the church.
One of the areas that we told our people, quite frankly, was that if we did not begin reaching new people, within 10 years this church would be dead.
The church was built on members that had been here for a long time, and the younger generations weren't being touched or reached or impacted the way they used to be.
We saw this generation of students and young adults who were disconnecting and disengaging from the church.
We said we have to do something. We have to risk something for this group.
I love being part of Converge. I think it is a group of pastors that is some of the most non-competitive kind of guys. I learned so much from being around them.
5.5 years ago, we launched out with this church, and it really came out of and was birthed out of a vision to see the unchurched in Muskegon County, Ottawa County, connect with Jesus in relationship.
If you think of a rescue boat, navigating through waters to connect with a group of people that need to be rescued, that's what church planting is.
100,000 people in just Muskegon were not going to church somewhere, and we thought, man, if we could just even reach a tenth of that, that'd be 1,000 people that could be connected with God that weren't connected with God.
On our launch Sunday, we had 275 people show up to the Trillium Conference and Banquet Center, and within 8 weeks we'd grown that to 68 people. So we were wondering, is this going to even fly or not? And yet God began to bring people who were disconnected from Jesus, and they invited friends, and they invited friends.
Through a God-arranged encounter, we came into contact with Converge, Michigan, and began to learn of a network of churches that were actually passionate about the kingdom and doing that, especially through church planting. And wow, that really resonated. For us at Threads, we're really passionate about reproducing, and it's been cool partnering, Sawyer and some other churches in Converge to see the launch of Freshwater.
October 2005, we opened up after a series of community events to make awareness. We had like 275 people come in that day. We were shocked, excited, overwhelmed, but man, we just said, wow, God, this is the journey you have for us.
One of the dreams of Genesis was to start another church and multiply. After 3 years of having the church, we're launching into a new community in Boyne City.
Over the last couple of years, we've added a second gathering, and now we've added actually a third gathering.
We see the potential for launching a site in the next 1 to 2 years.
We think that within the next year and a half, that we will launch another church.
I'm part of a lead team, which was really just a collection of some guys that are committed to moving the church missionally. And we do things a lot of different ways.
We have a food pantry. We feed about 1,500 families every year.
One of the things that we're working on now is we have a large Hispanic area. We're praying about and looking forward to perhaps a future Hispanic church plant.
We have a very active mission program here.
We have this year's celebration of our Vision 2009-2010.
We really push the envelope in terms of what we seek to do financially for the sake of the kingdom of God.
We've been in the community for 125 years, and it was just a couple years ago that the board and some of the key members of our church got together and started to talk through what is God calling us to do for the next 125 years.
What we really challenged our congregation to do was to really embrace the idea of relooking at the Great Commission and really recognizing that God has called us to reach our generation.
We just really believe that we need to focus on the young families in our community.
The word to our community is we want to be a family for you.
There's a parenting network where we have agreed to partner together to plant churches together.
We've not been focused on the glory days of the past in Evanston, but we've really believed that God has a fresh vision and a fresh purpose for Evanston in the here and now and for the future of Muskegon.
Center Lake Bible Camp has been around since 1956. It was started by a group of churches, at the time Michigan Baptist General Conference. We've migrated from there to Converge, Michigan. At that time, Wally Peterson was the district executive minister. At his funeral, it was stated that Wally never thought it would get much bigger than a summer camp. And God has just really grown this. Our partnership with the Converge Michigan Baptist General Conference is one where we feel like we should be one of the first places that our churches go to get encouragement when it comes to a retreat center or a camp.
When other camps call us, we tend to shun them off because Center Lake's in our backyard, and it's a great facility and great people and great staff.
Camp has been used to encourage the families, encourage churches. It's been used by a lot of youth retreats and groups to come on to do outdoor education. Thousands of people have been saved through the ministry that's gone on here. We have a great program here and a great staff.